on a scale of 1 to 10, what's the scale that you put that Trump will be the next president? I say 10, without a doubt. That is the truth. Everybody in this country, everybody in the world knows that this election on the 3rd of November was a total ripoff. It was a fraudulent election. We have had foreign interference from multiple countries. I'll rattle them off here if you want to get into that. And Donald Trump was the clear winner. For the next 4 days after the 3rd of November, from about the 4th through the 7th. In terms of the election, what we know is that the election was won by Donald Trump that night. Approximately 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night, 80 to 90% of the precincts in nationwide, Trump won hands down, hands down. And then all of a sudden we had this very, very uncertain, everything stops. We've never had that in our country, in our presidential election. So 5 states shut down. Joe Biden goes to bed. I mean, he probably never came out of the basement. And so then what happened was they realized, they being the Democratic machine, they realized that the algorithms that they put into these Dominion machines and these what's called ES&S, which is electronic security systems, 95% of the Chinese party paid $200 million in 2014 to Dominion, and they paid in October, I believe it was October of 2020, another $400 million put into this company. So we have clear evidence of a foreign interference, which is all the president's executive order describes. That's the executive order from 2018. He reinstituted it in 2019. He reinstituted it again in 2020. And so we are essentially in a national emergency that the president has already declared. He just has to decide whether to execute some of those procedures that are well within his authority. So we have foreign interference from China. We have foreign interference from Serbia. We have foreign interference from Italy, from Spain, from Germany. And then on the 30th of October, 2020, so a couple of days before the 3rd of November election, and then on the 3rd of November, the FBI and CISA, which is that guy Krebs, right? Krebs, who came out and said, hey, there's no foreign interference at all about a week after the election. CISA is a Homeland Security, cyber security agency. On the 30th of October, 2020, and on the 3rd of November, both in what's called a joint intelligence advisory, the FBI and CISA issued an advisory saying that Iran is mucking around in our election system. They were doing it on the 3rd of November, which is the day of the election. The FBI and the Department of Homeland Security both said there's foreign interference in our election on election day by the country of Iran.
A sea change was happening within the Iran-Al-Qaeda axis. Let me give you some information that is brand new to the public today. Iran decided to allow Al-Qaeda to establish a new operational headquarters on the condition that Al-Qaeda operatives abide by the regime's rules governing Al-Qaeda's stay inside of the country, agency, and control. Since 2015, Iran has also given Al-Qaeda leaders greater freedom of movement inside of Iran under their supervision. The Iranian Ministry of Intelligence and Security and the IRGC have provided safe havens and logistical support, like travel documents, ID cards, passports, that enable Al-Qaeda activity. As a result of this assistance, Al-Qaeda has centralized its leadership inside of Tehran. Ayman al-Zawahiri's deputies are there today. Frankly, they're living a normal Al-Qaeda life. Al-Qaeda terrorists like Saif al-Adl and the now dead Abu Muhammad al-Masri have been able to place a new emphasis on global operations and plotting attacks all across the world.
Look at the founding fathers and the arguments that they had, actually, and for those that want to dig into it, it's Federalist Paper number 73. And you look at it as to why they chose those words. Because the President of the United States has a responsibility to protect the Constitution. Everybody else can scream about it. The courts can say, we're not going to do anything about it like the Supreme Court did. But the President has the responsibility, the duty, and the authority to act, and it's above the others because there's something called national security. And national security, for all intents and purposes, is the responsibility of one person, and that's the United States President. The President has to stand there in his own boots, like Abraham Lincoln or George Washington or or other presidents that we've had in our history who have had to make incredibly difficult decisions. He is in one of those moments, I call it a crucible moment in the history of this country. Unprecedented. Donald Trump is standing about this. It's like when people in this country, they can't fathom what's happened. They kind of look at it and they go, oh my God, what's going on? I don't want to lose hope. These people don't care that they got caught. And you know why they don't care? Because nobody's ever held them accountable. Well, this president's going to continue on in office. They do not want that to happen. They're going to try every damn thing that they can. The intimidation tactics that we saw against Josh Hawley's wife is just a scratching of the surface. The kind of stuff that we see with, let's talk about my little buddy, Representative Swalwell, okay?
Chinese agent.
Wow, big time. He's a member of the Intelligence Committee. He's been for 4 years bashing the president for treason. The kind of language that he used against me and my family. And this son of a gun is sleeping with the enemy. Because you know what? He's got no morals. And frankly, the spies that sucked him in because of his weak fiber, they know that they have no morals as well. That's how they operate. So I bring up Swalwell, just like I look at what they did to the United States Senator and his family in terms of an intimidation tactic. They don't care if they got caught. You think the Chinese cared that Swalwell got caught? Ha! In fact, maybe he got caught because it was a diversion. They probably, I say that we're scratching the surface, and I know this. We're scratching the surface with the type of infiltration that we have. If we allow a lie to take us into our future, we will never have the constitutional republic that we have right now. I mean, these demonstrations and peaceful protests that are happening right outside the window here, all of these people from all across the country, and frankly, I know that there's actually people from all across the world that showed up for this historic moment. They know, everybody knows that there's this fleeting thing called democracy, and it's the idea.